Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. We've got another nice wee episode tonight, back in the garage. Well, the garage kitchen, if that makes sense. And we're going to be looking at the front calipers on the VFR. What I found is that on the left side I actually put these on thinking everything would be hunky-dory, and when I bled them all through, this side, the left side, was sticking, probably a wee bit more than the right side. And what was happening was, you apply the brake, and when you release the brake, the front wheel should then release, and it's not. It's really hard to move it. So I've had to take these back off, and I've realised now that the pistons, especially on this left side, are really bad and they're seized. So my plan is to try and get these pistons out. In the normal circumstances, what you would do is you would leave them in the bike, take the pads off, and just basically pump the lever until they pop out. And what happened was the right side popped before the left side, and that released all the pressure and everything in the brakes. So these then basically sat at this position and they're not coming out. If they weren't seized, you would be able to pull these all the way out till basically they're out. But they're absolutely solid to get out. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. One is if you've got an air compressor, you can fill this hole up and stick the air compressor onto the nipple, and that will force air into the system and these will pop out. I don't have an air compressor, I've got a bike pump, and it's just not strong enough to push the power through. So I've got another wee neat trick that I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but it involves a little 8mm socket. We'll start again. I think it's an 11mm socket actually, so it's a wee 11mm socket. And a pair of external circlip pliers. That's the ones that when you squeeze them they go out the way, as opposed to, it's kind of opposite to what a normal pair of pliers would be. And we're going to see if that works. So this will be a cool wee trick for you if you do want to try and remove these without actually damaging them. Obviously, because these go in and out and they should have a smooth surface, you can't stick on a pair of mole grips, vice grips, and just, you know, pull them out, because you'll just mark all this and score all of this. So you have to try and remove them out from the inside part here that's not hitting the seal on the surface. So plan is to try and get these out, and then we're going to replace the seals on this. I've already done the other one's back on and it's spot on. So we'll try and get the seals out, we'll try and get the pistons out, seals will be a doddle, and I'll run you through exactly what's involved in doing that. So stay tuned, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. So we've basically got our little 11mm that we just slot into there, and the plan, what should work, is that you get these pliers and you basically just apply them into that, which should give you enough grip to get a turn on, that piston and basically prise it out. That looks like it's working. All different ways of doing this, all different ways of people trying to do it, but the biggest, most common one is sticking an air compressor on, which we don't have. It's fidgety. Okay, oh yeah, so there we go, first one out. Look at the state of that. No wonder that wasn't going back in again. No wonder that wasn't recessing back in. Look at the state of that. Jeez. So we need to get them cleaned up. So there's one out. There we go. Feel a bit like a dentist. There we go, number 2's out. Yeah, that one's just as bad, like. Well, maybe not quite as bad, but you get the gist of it. So I'm just going to clean these up with some soapy water, and I'll be back in a minute. So we've got 2 seals in here. We've got the dust seal on the outside, and we've got the oil seal on the inside, or the fluid seal, or whatever you want to call it. That sits on there. So that looks slightly different on the inside to the other side. I wonder if that's a different caliper. Anyway, I'm just going to clean them and I'll be back in a minute. And there we go. Now all that is soapy water with the wee sponges that you get. I've got the Scotch-Brite on the other side, the kind of green scoury bit on the other side of your pad, the other side of your sponge, and it's all I've done is used that with some soapy water. I've still got a couple of wee marks here and there. I'm not that fussed about these. These are, I can feel them, they're actually more like scores than just dirty marks. I'm not that fussed about them. As you can see here, this is roughly the line where it gets to the seal, and everything from there back is in good order. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to go any further in. If anything, it will come further out as the pads start to wear down a bit. So yeah, so that's them. These cost a pretty penny if you had to get new ones. They're about 20–30 quid each. So if you can recover your old ones, then do it. Seals, on the other hand, that was a whole set of seals that I got for both sides, which are 8 seals, and you also get some, what is it they call it, rubber paste or something like that, I think it's called. Rubber grease. So you get rubber grease with it as well, and I'll show you roughly how you do that. You get new caps to put on for your nipples, and you get some new rubbers as well. So you get this new slide pin rubber which goes in there, and you get a new rubber which kind of slots in there effectively. And that's your 2 rubbers that you get with the kit as well. So I was 18 quid for that kit, which included all the rubbers that I need, and it's not a lot to pay to get your brakes working well. So here we go. I'm going to just pull this out, because that's the old one, and we'll just start off by getting the seals out. A bit of a screwdriver. Okay, so we've got 2 little seals, and we'll start off with the dust seal. So you should be able to just get like a wee screwdriver in there and prise it out without damaging the caliper, obviously. So there we go, that's the first one out, and God, it doesn't look too bad actually. I've seen worse. I've seen definitely the other one I had looked a lot grubbier than that. And then we have the oil seal further in. Which is a wee bit harder to get out because it is, I can't even show you this. It's a bit deeper, it sits in a deeper recess. So then you wish you had maybe a wee hook or something to get under it. There we go. Back in again. Okay, gotcha. So there we go. See the oil seal, that still don't look too bad, but you're better just replacing them. See for what they cost. So a wee bit of WD and just soak your pads. See as you go around just how much shit is in these, how much crap you get. Get that. So they're all looking good. What I'll do before I go any further, get the cloth inside, just give them a good clean with the cloth. Now you've got a little section here between, try and see if you can see it, between the front seal groove and the rear seal groove. You've got this little bit in between, and I can see it's quite dirty. So you would think there's a chance that the piston will catch on that and it might stop it from, you know, freely getting in and out. So don't be too rough with it, but a little bit of steel wheel just on the inside, just to give it a little, basically you're just giving it a little clean. Without getting into too much on it, because at the end of the day, it's a delicate part, isn't it? I'm happy with that. Okay. So looking in there, all looks good. We are now ready to get our new stuff in. So seal. Start off with the bigger seal at the back, it's further in. And get your rubber grease, just put it on your finger. Don't be scared of it, just put as much on as you think you need and cover the whole seal with it, in and out, and that will lubricate it, get it in to where it needs to be. As long as you've got enough to do your 2 calipers, just splash it all in. These ones are pretty easy to get in. So, slot it in. Push it until you feel it going into the slot at the back. This isn't the normal angle I would use, but I'm trying to get you to see it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, just check that it's not twisted, and I think this one might be twisted a little bit. It says. There we go, first one in, easy peasy, and these ones are a wee bit harder. In fact, we'll just put the 2 back ones in first. Okay, so happy they're in, all the way around, all seated, lovely jubbly. Okay, hardless one there, let's get the hard ones in. You'd think they'd be easier because they're at the front, but they can just be a pain, these ones. They will go in initially, but they twist quite badly because of that little recess that I was telling you about. Almost done. Oh, that one's not any bother. You can actually hear it just go and pop straight in. Good. Looking good. Okay, that's us. Okay, happy with that? Right, hard bit's done. Easy bit now is slotting these in. Now you've seen just how hard it was to get these to come out, how I had to kind of wrestle at them to get them to come out. Putting them back in, I should be able to put these in by hand really easily. I'm just checking actually, is that? No, that's in. So, got a hair on my hand, don't want that getting in. The joy of living with girls in the house. Okay. Some people like to use brake fluid, but I've been advised the best thing to use is just to use the rubber grease. And from doing the first one, it was an absolute doddle. So here's how easy it will be. Stick it in your thumb, and through the top, and it should go straight in. Look how easy that goes in. Look at that. Easy peasy. So there we go. Seal's done. That's how you get the seals in. Right, as I said, you get some new rubbers with it as well, so I'm just going to switch that off for a minute. So you get a new rubber, and this will be the same, just use your grease on the rubber. These can be a pest to get in as well, because you're going to try and bend them and squeeze this part through this little hole. This is through it, easy peasy, then we get the bracket one. Stick on my wee glovies just to get me through it, because we're using grease. Not by grease in here. And you've got our anti-rattle clip, can only go in one way, so that'll sit in there and clip on there like so. It won't go in the other way in any form, so you can't go wrong. A little bit of grease, slider pins, tons of grease on them, minus the crap that comes off it. tons of grease on the slider pins, and you've got that one there, and you've got the slider pin on the bracket on this side, so get that on there as well. And you get a new seal for that as well, which slots onto here like so. Actually, no it doesn't. I'm talking absolute pants. It slots into this one. Like so. So that slots in, can only go in one way. So that fixes that side of it. And then we'll have another anti-rattle clip here. Got a little bit of grease on that. So your pads come in. So effectively what we want to do is, we want the pads to sit like so. Effectively sit like that. And a pin will hold them through at this end, but we need this to slot in at this end first. So bring this over a bit so you can see it. So we have you that slots in there. We have your pads which slot into this groove, which is the lines that you can see. And we get them to fidgety up to a point where we can slide them in. Actually, I'm just going to pull them out just now. So you have to make sure that your two slider pins slot into here, like so. And then once they're into a point, we can push our pads in. Here we go. See how that slides, how good it slides. Our pads should slot in here quite easily. Just to do it. Okay, that's them slotted in. Then we have to push down. Watch the anti-rattle clip come out. It's not really secure, is it? And then you have a pin which slots through, and that's what basically holds your pads. I said it right this time, pads in place. Just make sure these ones are in, which they are. Okay, once that's in place, we've got a little screw that basically keeps all the dirt and dust out of your Allen bolt. So that slots on there, the right way obviously. And you've got a single slotted there for your slotted screwdriver. And there you have it, that's all there is to it. You see they're quite tight, but the plan, if you watch, these should open up quite easily, which they do, and that should be enough to get it into the brake disc, and then you'll see this move back and forward to sit. Super duper. Right. That's all there is to it. Easy peasy. So that's it in about half an hour, 40 minutes I would say, which will be in the full length version of the video. I've managed to strip these down, get the barrels out, the pistons out, clean them all up, get the new seals in, get it all back together and get the pads back in. So in the next video I'll fit them, bleed them through, and that'll be it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you a bit of an insight into how to do your seals. Easy peasy, honestly, a doddle. And what a difference it will make to these calipers. It'll be the bike should brake really well when they're all in. Okay, I'm Offski, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, cheers!